Hi, I'm Sarah Hart from Sarah Hart Driving School and Drive Hart. So today I'm going to give my pupil a briefing about how we tackle roundabouts. So it's split down into three areas the way I deliver the briefing, and the first part is about our signalling process, the second part is about our lane discipline, and the third part is about how we approach the roundabout safely and make decisions about whether it's safe to go. So let's talk first of all about signals. Very basically, we're going to employ our MSPSL routine, of course, as we always would, but we're going to be looking at if we're taking the first exit left. In this case, we would signal left on approach to the roundabout. If we were taking the second exit straight ahead, we wouldn't have a signal on approach, but after we've passed the first exit, we would mirror signal to say we're taking the next exit on the left. And we're going to imagine that in our roundabout, we've got a clock face in the middle, and we're going to always enter the roundabout at 6 o'clock, and we're going to always leave the roundabout at, we're always going to have 12 o'clock across to the front of us. So we're going to imagine that if we were coming in at 6 o'clock and taking an exit after 12 o'clock, i.e. to the right, then we'd arrive with a right signal on approach. We'd come round the roundabout, and once we'd passed the exit prior to the one we want, then we'd put a left signal on to say we're leaving at the next exit. So the left signal can only go on when it really is the next exit that you're going to take. The right signal is important as you come round. Forget the lines on this for the moment, but as you're coming round, the right signal is really important because it will prevent people from pulling out in front of you because they know you're coming round. If you're not signalling and you are coming round, then people might imagine you're following the road ahead and they might pull out in front of you. So the right signal is very important if you're coming round. So that, in simple terms, is the signalling process. Let's talk about our lane discipline now. And this is where people very often go wrong on roundabouts. So if we were taking the first exit left, we'd be approaching in the left lane and we'd have our left signal on. We'd be looking to the right to make sure it's safe. And if it is safe, with appropriate mirror checks, we'd be making our turn to exit left. If we were following the road ahead, we would generally take the left lane. So our default setting is left lane wherever there's a choice of left or right because we drive on the left in England. So the same as on a dual carriageway, left or right, use the left. So normally we'd be in the left lane, providing it's safe, we'd emerge out onto the roundabout and we'd come round the outside of the roundabout, left signal now, and we'd exit into our lane there. It's very important that we have this lane discipline round the outside because, again, a common mistake for people is they just drive straight across to their exit, which of course is a problem for the people on their right. So we might imagine there's a train track going around the outside of the roundabout and we're the train and we want to stay on the tracks. We do not want to derail the train by going in a straight line. So round the outside is very important with your lane discipline. Now, if we're turning right at the roundabout past that 12 o'clock, we're normally going to arrive on the right-hand side with that right signal. We're going to emerge onto the roundabout when it's safe, and we'll come to how we suss that out in a minute. But we're usually going to take the inside lane, so the right-hand lane as you come round. We'd come round the inside of the roundabout. Once you're past the exit prior to your exit that you want to leave on, it will be mirror signal and exit, possibly into the right-hand lane if it's onto a dual carriageway, depending on the lanes and the layout of the roundabout, but possibly into the left-hand lane if possible. So I've said to you where possible, we're going to be on the left, but obviously I'm going to spin this round now. Imagine we're coming in at this lane. In this situation, if we were following the road ahead, we wouldn't be taking the left lane because road signs and markings are telling us to take the middle lane in this situation. And sometimes, lanes will depend on various roundabouts. You do get complex roundabouts with different lane markings, so always be aware of that. But as a basic rule of thumb, left lane for left, left lane for straight ahead, right lane for right. So that's very basic. So let's talk now about how we're going to approach this roundabout and make safe decisions. So we're going to employ our MSPSL. Let's assume that we're taking the first road on the left. We're going to, about 8 to 10 car lengths back from the junction, we're going to be thinking about our mirrors and signal, our position, we've selected the left lane, our speed, we're going to slow down, and a good gear to approach the roundabout on is very often second gear because now our speed is very low, we're at the lowest, about 8 miles an hour, coming into that roundabout, second gear clutches up, we're looking to the right, looking for a gap, looking where we're steering as well, keep looking to the right for the gap, and if we get a gap we can keep on going in second gear, looking, assessing, deciding and acting upon what we see. So MSPSL ADA. There we are, there's our junction, there's our gap. Now clearly, a little way back from the roundabout, if you can see that you're not going to be able to emerge, maybe there's queuing traffic, maybe you can see from a way back that it's absolutely busy as anything on the roundabout, then there's no point in getting second gear because you're not going to be able to get that getaway in second. So you go straight into first gear there, waiting for your gap. So we're always looking to the right, keeping an eye on the roundabout, and if it's a smaller roundabout, people coming around from there would be a problem. So that's our basics for roundabouts. So hopefully that's been of use. And of course we've got our student revision pack, which after the briefing on roundabouts you would give to them by email, and also you've got your questions and your quiz for the parents in there as well, as per all your briefings. So get them to get out with their parents, maybe look at some roundabouts, get them to do the quiz with the parents or the supervising drivers, and then introduce that as the start of your next lesson, because you can recap on your roundabout lesson with asking them what they've done with their homework. That's the end of the briefing.